All right, let's talk about something pretty amazing. It's a simple, powerful, and pretty much free way to completely revolutionize your garden. We're talking about a system that creates some of the richest fertilizer on the planet. And all it takes is a single pipe and your kitchen scraps.
You know, this quote just nails it. What looks like some weird, ugly piece of plumbing sticking out of the ground is actually an underground engine, one that can totally transform the way you garden. You get these incredible results with way less work. So what is going on here? How does this thing actually work its magic? If you're a gardener, you already know the routine, right? That endless cycle of lugging heavy bags home from the store, trying to measure out the right amount of powder or pellets, and spreading it all on a strict schedule. It costs money, it takes a ton of effort, but what if that whole cycle is just unnecessary? What if it's based on a big misunderstanding of what a garden really needs to thrive?
Okay, so first up, we're gonna pull back the curtain on this thing. We're gonna see how this one simple piece of hardware becomes the secret weapon, the absolute heart of a living, self-sustaining garden.
Now, what's so fascinating is that this isn't some newfangled garden hack somebody came up with last week. Not at all. This is ancient, powerful wisdom that somehow just got lost. We're going to look at how we forgot all about the real architects of healthy soil.
I mean, just look at this timeline. This idea goes way, way back. For centuries, civilizations like the Aztecs literally built their farming systems around earthworms. They knew. Even the great Charles Darwin, the evolution guy, wrote a whole book on earthworms. He actually considered it one of the most important works of his entire life. But then, after World War II, everything changed. Big chemical companies pivoted, and they started selling synthetic fertilizers. They sold us this idea that fertility comes from a bag, not from the soil itself. And now, finally, we're starting to rediscover what nature has been trying to tell us all along.
And this really breaks down the two different ways of thinking, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got fertility from a bag. Yeah, it gives you plants a quick jolt, but then they often crash, and you have to go buy more. It only feeds the plant. But fertility from living soil? That's a whole different ballgame. It's a self-sustaining system that slowly and steadily releases nutrients. It's not just feeding the plant, it's rebuilding the entire soil ecosystem. And that, right there, is the key difference.
So, we get the what and the why. Now let's dive into the how. This next part breaks down the simple, but kind of brilliant biology that makes this little pipe the engine of your entire garden.
And it's a totally fair question. I mean, worms don't have eyes or ears, right? So how on earth do they know there's a delicious buffet waiting for them inside some random plastic tube? Well, the answer is this incredible chemical detection system that nature has been perfecting for millions of years.
Just think of it like a worm highway. So, step 1, you toss in your kitchen scraps. As that waste starts to decompose, microbes get to work and release these chemical signals, these scents, out into the soil. Step 3, worms from all over your garden pick up on this invitation and they follow that scent trail right to the pipe. They crawl in through the holes, they have a feast, and then, this is the best part, they travel back out into your garden, delivering their nutrient-rich manure, their castings, directly to your plant's roots. They are literally doing all the fertilizing work for you.
And believe me, what they leave behind is so much better than anything you can buy in a bag. Worm castings, people call it black gold for a reason, aren't just plant food. They are packed with beneficial microbes and natural growth hormones that rebuild the entire soil structure. They make it healthier, more alive. So you're not just feeding your plants, you are building a resilient living ecosystem right under your feet.
All right, enough of the science. Let's get to the fun part. Let's get practical and walk through the simple blueprint for building one of these yourself. Seriously, it's incredibly easy. You can knock this out in less than an hour.
Okay, the build process could not be more straightforward. All you need is a standard piece of PVC pipe, maybe 4 to 6 inches wide, and a little cap or lid for the top. Now the key is to drill a bunch of holes, say ½ an inch wide, all over the bottom 2/3 of the pipe. These are the doorways for the worms. Once you've done that, you just bury it in your garden bed, leaving that top third sticking out so you can easily drop in your scraps. That's it. It is that simple.
So what do you feed this thing? Well, worms absolutely love stuff like raw veggie and fruit peels, coffee grounds, tea bags, even crushed up eggshells. But you'll definitely want to avoid things like meat, dairy, or super oily foods. That stuff can get smelly and actually push the worms away. Just stick to the do list and your little underground workforce will be very, very happy. Okay, let's bring this all home. When you install this one simple pipe, you're doing so much more than just feeding a few plants. You are fundamentally breaking that cycle of dependency on store-bought stuff. And this number right here, this says it all, doesn't it?
The ongoing cost for this premium, soil-building, completely natural fertilizer is zero. A big fat zero. You're taking something you used to just throw in the trash, your kitchen scraps, and turning it into the most valuable resource your garden could ever ask for.
And this is the real payoff. You get a garden that basically feeds itself, so you do less work. You get healthier soil that holds on to water better, which is huge. Your plants become naturally stronger and more resistant to pests and disease. And best of all, you get complete freedom from ever having to buy another bag of fertilizer again. It's about taking back control and putting the power of nature to work for you.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. A simple pipe and a handful of worms can outperform a multi-billion-dollar chemical industry. And if nature has a free solution that is this elegant, this powerful, it just makes you wonder, right? What else have we been convinced we need to buy when a better answer might already be all around us? It's a powerful question to think about.